Well, today a man is suing the city of Akron and the Akron Police Department over his arrest back in 2024.
He claims an officer used excessive force and wrongfully arrested him, and he argues the city condoned his behavior. Annabelle Childers is live now in Akron. So what is the man asking for at this point, Annabelle?
Well, the plaintiff, Terrell Battles, is asking for a jury trial. He believes that Akron police officer violated his constitutional rights, and he wants a jury to decide how much money the city should pay him. Now, this lawsuit surrounds an incident that happened last June in 2024, a traffic stop. Battles was in the passenger seat when Akron police officers pulled over the car he was riding in for expired vehicle registration. Body-worn camera footage shows Battles arguing with Officer Warren Sprague, the officer being sued. Sprague asks Battles to step out of the car, and he does not. Then the footage shows multiple officers pull Battles from the car onto the ground, and then Sprague punches his head. This is how Battles described that moment when we interviewed him in February.
I just kept rethinking, like, did this really just happen to me? That my kids just witnessed me get beat up by the police when, you know, when you go to school, they'd be like, oh, we're here to protect and serve you. But what you just did not show that at all. Hopefully justice comes. You know, so all I can do is just take time. Just got to wait for my turn, I guess.
Now, this incident was investigated internally, and Akron police concluded that Officer Warren Sprague used reasonable force. But in January, an independent police auditor found that the force used was not objectively reasonable. And that auditor recommended the police department consider disciplinary action. With this new lawsuit filed last week, I reached out to the city and Akron police today for comment. I also asked for information on Officer Sprague's employment status and whether he underwent extra training because of this incident. I have not heard back. Now at 5, we're going to dig into Battles' specific allegations against the city of Akron and why he argues they're responsible for a pattern of misconduct.
All right, Annabelle Childers, excellent work. Thank you. Live from Akron.
Miss Talking Head Annabelle, when that pattern is documented with evidence, it's not a claim, it's not alleged, it's absolute facts, young lady. But Lord willing, we're gonna come back to you. Trailhand Bill, reporting live from South Florida. Car blogs is something y'all gotta deal with today. It is 11:37, man. A beautiful, very beautiful Wednesday in South Florida. Sun shining, not too hot yet. I hope it's nice and beautiful where you're at, and I hope you can appreciate it, man. And I hope whatever's going on in your life isn't consuming you, because life is up and down, man. You gotta ride the waves. Let's start with how we got here. A homie and his brother riding in a vehicle. They get pulled over allegedly for expired registration. The brother gets arrested for that and not having a license. All of this, you know, according to the Johnnies, and then they go and ask the brother in this story here to get out of the vehicle, and he asks them, why do I have to get out of the vehicle as a passenger? According to other journalists that you will read in the print article if you care to, because it will be in the pinned comment and description, Lord willing, you will find out that Ohio, and maybe you already knew this, has laws that if a car doesn't have a registration, they can tow it. Now, those laws differ from state to state. I suggest you know how they pertain to you where you reside, because they're not the same. I never knew this. I've known states, Georgia and Florida, where if you don't have registrations, they not only don't tow the car, they sometimes don't even write you a ticket. And most of the time on those types of traffic citations, when you go to court, if you prove that you've just updated the information, the ticket will be thrown out. So just keep that in mind. All of it, the fact that he was a passenger in the car that his brother was driving and had alleged traffic citations for, and the fact that the traffic citations were very minimal, even with the license. If you have that updated in the states that I've lived in, Georgia and Florida, because I've been to traffic court, never for these offenses, but I've seen people there for them when I was there. If you have the information updated, they'll throw it away. Just keep all of that in mind. And the fact that they were trying to tow the car, and he asked them about why he needed to get out of the car, but they never told him that. They just immediately attacked him. Now, other information that you need to have that wasn't shared in this video perfectly, if at all, I can't remember honestly, is that this is the second time that this officer has a use of force incident in the last 2 years. I hope I remember to speak about the other one. He has, according to the other journalists in the print report, more than anybody in his department. Now, I reflected on the video that I did. It was the last one with 3 Floridians, man. Listen, I damn near just want to put that video out again. Just the video, man. And I always say this, I may. The story is so heartbreaking. They were murdered, man. They were murdered. It was a domestic violence situation. The wife in the situation, the husband was the murderer, had restraining orders, protective orders on her husband several times before this. The husband had guns that the police officers had orders to confiscate. They were supposed to confiscate the husband's guns. They had already did it one time and gave them back to him, but they were supposed to confiscate his guns. They never did it. He ended up killing his wife, her father, and an unrelated innocent neighbor whose house the wife ran into trying to get away from this murderous husband. And the reason all of that was able to unfold is because Broward County cops refused to do their job when they had the evidence and the legal precedent to do so. I'm bringing that up because in that video, the union rep for the officers said, hey, this isn't their fault. 10 cops they're naming. The sheriff is calling for them to be fired. The chief. And the union rep is saying, no, we're pushing back against that because this isn't these 10 officers' fault. It's a departmental problem. It's a systemic issue, sir. Any reasonable person's contention is going to be those 10 officers are part of that system. They're part of that department. So they're definitely part of that problem. And in that instance, they were directly part of that problem. Why are you bringing that up, Trailhand? Because after I tell you what actually happened here, that Annabelle asked Skip past for unknown reasons at this point, you're going to find out that his superiors, his heads, said he did nothing wrong according to their policies. Now let's talk about what did happen specifically. When he asked them why he had to get out of the car, instead of explaining to the gentleman civilly, like any sound-minded person would, sir, we have a law that we can tow any vehicle that doesn't have a registration. We don't have to. We definitely have discretion, but because we're tyrannical domestic terrorists, we're going to tow this vehicle. Instead of explaining that to him in any regard, honestly or otherwise, they just immediately opened the door and began to attack this gentleman. And that's the part that Annabelle left out that had me confused. You said you saw the body cam, but you pretended that they only punched this gentleman, which we can see on camera when he had his face down and 40 officers on him. Of course, I'm exaggerating to match their exaggerated actions. We saw that, but why did you fail to reference the fact that they punched him? And I say they, but it was this one coward who has another use of force incident on his record. He punched the gentleman before he even got him out of the car. He opened the door and began to punch him. The man had a broken nose and other facial bruises. Why didn't you mention that, Annabelle? Are you a blind, back the blue talking head, or did you just simply not see that portion of the body cam? Because that's very important to reference in this situation. They attacked him before he got out of the vehicle. They dragged him out and attacked him, and none, not one, of the good officers on the scene arrested the real criminal. Let's play Who Can Guess Why. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.